What happens when a single misunderstanding spirals into a storm that tears lives apart? In the small town of Willow Creek, where the scent of wildflowers mingled with the dust of country roads, a nail salon by an old red barn became the stage for a drama no one saw coming. It was a place where locals gathered, not just for manicures, but for gossip, laughter, and the comfort of routine. Yet, on one fateful afternoon, a woman named Karen unleashed a fury that would unravel secrets, break hearts, and leave an indelible mark on the town. Karen Whitmore was no stranger to attention. With her sharply pressed blouses and a voice that could cut through a crowded room, she carried herself like someone who demanded to be noticed. At 42, she had built a life of carefully curated perfect Iona pristine house, a successful real estate career, and a reputation for getting what she wanted. But beneath the polished exterior, Karen was fraying. Her marriage was crumbling. Her teenage daughter barely spoke to her, and the weight of unspoken regrets pressed harder each day. The nail salon, a small haven called Bella's Beauty Barn, was her escape, a place where she could reclaim control, even if just over her cuticles. That morning, Karen woke with a fire in her chest. She needed to feel put together, to silence the chaos in her mind. She called Bella's Beauty Barn, or so she thought, and booked a 2 p.m. appointment for a full manicure and pedicure. She didn't double-check the number. Karen never needed to. She was certain. As she drove through Willow Creek, past fields of corn and the weathered barn that gave the salon its name, she rehearsed her demands. Almond-shaped nails, a bold crimson polish, no chit-chat from the staff. She wanted perfection, and she would accept nothing less. Inside the salon, the air buzzed with quiet energy. Belle Gwyn, the owner, moved with grace, her hands steady as she painted intricate designs on a client's nails. Her team Lila, a young single mother with a quick laugh, and Min, a soft-spoken artist who dreamed of opening her own studio, worked in harmony. The salon was their sanctuary, a place where they poured their hearts into making others feel beautiful. Regulars like Mrs. Thompson, an elderly widow who came every Tuesday, filled the space with warmth. But today the harmony would shatter. Karen stormed through the door at 1:55 p.m., her heels clicking like gunfire on the hardwood floor. The bell above the door jangled, and every head turned. "I'm here for my appointment," she announced, her voice sharp enough to slice through the hum of conversation. Bella looked up, confused. "I'm sorry, ma'am, what's your name?" she asked, checking the appointment book. "Karen Whitmore. 2 o'clock. Manicure and pedicure. Let's make this quick." Karen's tone was clipped, her eyes scanning the room as if daring anyone to challenge her. Bella frowned, flipping through the book. "I don't see your name here, Ms. Whitmore. Did you book with us directly?" Karen's face reddened. "Of course I did. I called this morning. Do you think I'm lying?" Her voice rose, drawing gasps from the other clients. Mrs. Thompson clutched her purse, and Lila paused mid-brushstroke, exchanging a glance with Min. "I'm not saying that," Bella said calmly, her years of handling difficult customers steadying her. "Sometimes mix-ups happen. Maybe you called another salon? We can fit you in later today if—" "Later," Karen snapped, slamming her purse on the counter. "Do you know who I am? I don't wait. I made an appointment and you will honor it. Now." The room fell silent, the tension thick enough to choke on. Min stepped back, her hands trembling, while Lila whispered to a client to stay calm. Bella took a deep breath, her patience fraying but her voice steady. "Ms. Whitmore, I'm happy to help, but there's no record of your booking. Let's figure this out together. Can you show me the number you called?" Karen's eyes narrowed. "This is ridiculous. You're incompetent, all of you." She yanked her phone from her purse, scrolling through her call history with shaking hands. Her finger froze on a number 1 digit off from Bella's Beauty Barn. She had called a salon in the next town over, a mistake so small it could have been laughed off. But Karen wasn't laughing. She was burning. I must have," she stammered, but the fire in her wouldn't let her back down. "This is your fault. You should have my name in that book." Her voice cracked, a raw edge of desperation seeping through. The salon was no longer just a salon. It was a battleground for her crumbling control. That's when the twist came, quiet but seismic. A new voice broke the silence, a young girl, no older than 16, standing in the doorway. She had Karen's sharp cheekbones but softer eyes, filled with a mix of defiance and pain. It was Ellie, Karen's daughter, who wasn't supposed to be there. She had skipped school, drawn to the salon by a rumor that her mother was spiraling again. Ellie had seen this before Karen's outbursts, her need to dominate every room, but she hadn't expected to witness it here, in front of strangers. "Mom, stop," Ellie said, her voice trembling but firm. The room froze, Karen's face drained of color, her anger colliding with shame. "You're doing it again. You're making everything worse." Karen turned, her mouth opening to retort, but no words came. Ellie stepped forward, her backpack slung over one shoulder, her eyes glistening. "You think yelling makes you strong? It just makes everyone hate you, including me." The words landed like a slap, and for the first time, Karen's facade cracked. The other clients stared, some with pity, others with judgment. Mrs. Thompson reached out to touch Ellie's arm, but the girl pulled away. Bella seized the moment to de-escalate. "Ms. Whitmore, let's step outside and talk. We'll sort this out." But Karen was beyond reason. "You're all against me," she screamed, tears streaming down her face. "This whole town is nothing but small-minded nobodies." She grabbed her purse and stormed out, leaving the door swinging in her wake. Ellie stayed behind, her shoulders slumped. "I'm sorry," she whispered to Bella. "She's not okay. She hasn't been for a long time." Bella nodded, her heart heavy. She offered Ellie a seat, but the girl shook her head and left, chasing after her mother not out of love, but out of duty. The incident spread through Willow Creek like wildfire. By evening, posts on X were buzzing with accounts of Karen's meltdown. Some called her unhinged, others pitied her, but all agreed she had crossed a line. Bella, shaken but resolute, made a decision. She called Karen that night, leaving a voicemail. "Ms. Whitmore, due to your behavior, you're no longer welcome at Bella's Beauty Barn. I'm sorry it came to this." Karen never responded, but the ban was final. Days turned to weeks, and Karen's life unraveled further. Her outburst at the salon became the match that lit a fire she couldn't extinguish. Clients stopped calling her real estate business, whispering about her temper. Her husband, tired of her volatility, filed for divorce. Ellie moved in with her aunt, leaving Karen alone in a house that echoed with silence. The nail salon, once a trivial stop in her day, had become the catalyst for her downfall. But the story didn't end there. In a final, bitter twist, Bella discovered something months later. While cleaning out the salon's storage, she found an old appointment book from the previous year. There, in faded ink, was Karen's name booked for a manicure she had never shown up for. Karen had been a client once long ago, but had forgotten. The irony stung. Her rage had been built on a half-remembered truth, twisted by her own unraveling mind. Karen never returned to Willow Creek. Some said she moved to a city where no one knew her name, chasing a fresh start she didn't deserve. Others whispered she was still out there, screaming at someone new, unable to escape herself. Bella's Beauty Barn thrived, its warmth undimmed by the storm Karen had brought. Ellie, slowly healing, found solace in Min's art classes, her hands learning to create beauty instead of chaos. And so, the nail salon by the barn stood as a quiet testament to the power of small moments, how a single mistake, a single scream, could ripple through lives, breaking some and strengthening others. Karen's story was a warning, a mirror held up to the fragility of pride and the cost of refusing to bend. In the end, she wasn't just banned from the salon. She was banned from the life she thought she controlled. ND.